Mr. E wants to be a lawyer, but has failed 9 times in a row. He's almost 30 years old. He leaves his rundown apartment at 8 o'clock every day. He picks up his lunchbox at the station from his classmate, his girlfriend, who works at the courthouse. He's swaying on a crowded train. He spends his days struggling with law books in the study room in the basement of his university. He works part-time at a Chinese restaurant at night and goes to sleep exhausted. He's been living such a simple life for 9 years. Some people in the study room are approaching 50 years old. Some people quit their jobs as office workers to come here. Mr. E is becoming one of the old-timers. 10 years ago, when he was still a university student, this study room smells moldy. If you stay in a place like this for a long time, your heart will become moldy as well. But now, E no longer smells moldy. She is worried. How about this year? How? It's already decided. I'll do something about it. It takes courage to give up. Over the past 4 or 5 years, this kind of conversation has been exchanged several times. The hardest time for E is when he buys a commuter pass. He can't write student in the occupation column. He can't write where he works. Who am I? Even though it's the path he chose for himself, it's a difficult day. He had decided to go out drinking with his girlfriend once a month. When he smiled, his front tooth that had fallen out due to tooth decay was painfully noticeable. You still haven't gotten your front teeth in? Yes, with a guilty look. You said the same thing the other day, didn't you? Yes. What's the point of being stingy about something like that? What's the point of becoming a lawyer? After going to all that trouble? If you give up, it's all for nothing. What kind of face do you make? Look in the mirror. She handed him a compact. His scruffy, toothless face was reflected in the mirror. I'm getting married. What? I've waited 8 years. I'm sorry. She stood up and never came back. That night, he cried out in frustration. When he cried himself to sleep, he dreamed that it's the coldest before spring comes. Mr. E, who grew up in a snowy country, had heard this phrase many times since he was a child. The next day, he went to the dentist to get his teeth fixed. He also had a nice haircut at the barber's. I'm going to stop going to the study room. I'm going to move out of that shabby apartment. Mr. E moved to a small but sunny one-room apartment. He also quit his night part-time job and started working at a bakery in the morning. Everyone, I'm going to change. He mustered up the courage to contact his parents. Back in the countryside, I broke up with my girlfriend. This year will be my last. After days of desperation and resignation, Mr. E passed this year. Full of hope, he received a letter forwarded to him from his previous apartment. Congratulations. I hope you become a great lawyer. It was a letter from his girlfriend, who had changed her surname.